You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence system analytic computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 95 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division. This week we're talking the future of the Division and what it means for us agents, and we'll end with some questions. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
I hope you're both well, and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners as well. Anyway, before we actually start the podcast, just got a little plug, I guess, this week. Robert, you like games, don't you?
I do.
How much do you like games? Do you love them enough to play on PC?
Yeah.
Do you even PC, bro?
I own a laptop and a PC.
So you're like 100%
Both capable
PC.
of gaming.
Are they?
Mm.
Well, dude, I've got a deal for you, because we're actually partnered with a company now.
Really?
That does some awesome deals on PC.
Well,
Yeah,
tell me more.
I'll tell you more. If you're interested, this is probably the worst plug ever. But if anybody's interested, including yourself, Robert, we are actually partnered and affiliated with Humble Bundle. I was saying Humble Bumble.
That's what I call it.
Would you say it's the best Humble Bumble you've ever had?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually subscribe to this at the minute because I recently picked up Dark Souls for $12 over on PC with all the DLC. So
what's that in UK currency?
I think it was about £8
Bargain.
all the DLC and the whole game, which you can't get anywhere else for that cheap. So if you're looking for any deals on PC games, definitely go check out Humble Bundle. We do have a link, as we are supported by them a little bit now, and you will be able to find that in the show note description, or if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, it should be in the description over there. How does that sound, Robert?
Sounds great.
You guys really need to practice that for next week. That was terrible.
Does that mean you want to start again?
No. Keep going. It was just like, you remember way back in the day when everybody watched Friends and Joey would advertise those really dodgy like milk cartons and whatever. It was like one of those adverts. You need to practice, boys. Practice.
Well, it was intentional. It was terrible. Okay.
Oh. So you've been terrible for 95 episodes on purpose?
Hell yeah.
Speak for yourself, Robert.
GG. Consistency is the key.
Speaking of which, let's get on with it.
State of the game.
Speaking of consistency, there was no state of the game this week.
Oh man, that is the greatest segue ever.
So we are just going to be, ourselves. This is probably going to be a little bit more chilled out, as I'm sure you've heard by this intro. Sweet intro so far. Yeah. By the sounds of it, most of the dev team and the community manager team are in Paris, off the top of my head.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I always look to Luke to confirm, but he always seems to be looking the other way. And yeah, unfortunately, there was no maintenance this week. So, hang on, because expect some laggy servers over the next week as well. That's going to be fun.
That always seems to happen, doesn't it? Like if they skip maintenance, it just gets.
There's no one there to turn it off and turn it back on again. It's that easy.
Would they have? Was it this week when they did the Alpha Bridge patch? Or was that last week?
That was last week, and that was like an emergency patch that they, you even had to do like a proper full-on download for.
Yeah, it was like 3 gig or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much for fixing that. The only update I would say is probably from last week. As many of you remember, I'm sure. A certain person had their account banned, which has apparently been picked up by news and game coverage sites everywhere that this guy's been banned, including us. Not we've been banned, but this guy. Matty Haiti, the guy that created the cinematic tools, he actually had his Division account banned last week. He might actually have the ban removed. Not sure if it's removed by now. I'll throw him a message during the week if I get a chance. But yeah, Julian Garrity, the creative director of Massive, tweeted him saying he loved his work and he's going to look into sorting it out for him. Because he was probably automatically banned because that's what the anti-cheat system does. So it's working.
Yeah,
good job, Massive. That's not ironic. That's serious. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
just a shame it banned him for such a good tool. I mean, I know it went into the game's code, so he definitely technically deserved to be banned. But yeah, it's of all the things that people do in this game to create a tool as useful as his and get banned for it, just seems a bit lollage. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure many of you have seen it. I've had the chance to check this out over this week, and dude, the tools are awesome. I wish they were officially in the game, and I wish there was like a cinema mode where you could actually just make. I know people are making films and that, but it's very difficult. Look,
did you just admit to cheating?
I didn't cheat.
Okay, did you just admit to using a tool that got somebody banned?
Yes.
Did you possibly use a different account because yours might disappear soon?
It's definitely not my account, put it that way.
Right.
Use mine.
Yes. No, I mean, if anyone out there is like looking into this and trying to shut it down, definitely look for a specific username, I would say, Robert.
Oh yeah. Holy shit.
It's kind of ironic. But there we go. I'm not saying any more than that. Anyway, let's get down to whatever the hell we're talking about this week, which is our discussion of the week, I guess, guys. Sorry, I'm a little bit ill. I'm on drugs, so excuse me for the weirdness.
What kind
Can't
of drugs?
say that, dude.
Any good ones?
Not literally on drugs. I mean, like Lemsip, not.
Well, you're on
As I got asked
paracetamol.
today. Not as I got asked today. Have you ever done ecstasy and cocaine?
Who asked you
And I was
that?
like,
Diluted in a warm beverage.
yeah.
Imagine that. Ecstasy lemsips. I suppose they wouldn't be called lemsips, would they?
Yeah. We've also got Rob who's hungover this week.
Yeah, it was my
And
birthday today,
unfortunately-
so I'm a little bit sore.
Yeah, how was your birthday before we hit discussion?
It was good. It was just a normal day, really. I went to the gym, went to work, ate steak, then drank too much wine. No surprise there.
And then went to work the next day.
Yeah. Not for long, though. I had a half day.
I was waiting for Luke to go, son of a bitch, but there we go. Anyway, discussion of this week. There's been a huge topic of debate on both social media and Reddit this past week. Basically, what is next for the Division? Is it the Division 2, Year 3, or both? I'm sure most people have seen Marco Styles' video by now. If not, definitely go check it out. It's worth your time. But he makes some very good points. But I want to go to you guys. What are your thoughts, probably in reaction to social media and Marco Styles' video? Robert.
He's got some really strong points, but we've talked about this during the week, and yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm still within two minds. I kind of want both, but I'm not sure if there is a Division 2, when it'll be coming, because that's what everyone's debating, really, isn't it?
Okay, so maybe let's get one thing out of the way. Do we think Division 2 is arriving between now and March next year?
No. It'd be nice, but
I'm gonna
I don't think they've had enough time.
Agreed. I did originally say jobs were probably partly the reason to do with that. But as somebody so kindly pointed out several times over Twitter, thank you. Those jobs have been, available for a while. It is a little bit worrying that they haven't took those jobs down, but then they're trying to grow as a company, and Ubisoft really are trying to bring people in to work for them at the minute. I mean, they've just opened that. We spoke about it last year. We spoke about the studio they opened in Stockholm, which is going to be focusing on Avatar, which, obviously Massive are probably leading the charge on that, but then that's going to leave them space to work on two different things at the same time, isn't it? So obviously Division 2 is possibly on the table, but we've got something else that's coming out between now and March 2019. Can anybody name it?
No.
Starts with an A.
No.
Anthem.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so...
I was thinking of Ubisoft titles. I was like, what? A?
Yeah, we tend to play mostly Ubisoft titles, don't we? But Anthem's scheduled to release between the fourth quarter of 2018, which would be the financial year, which would be between November and March, Luke? Or April, sorry.
Yeah, if you go in quarters, it's like January to April, isn't it? But yeah.
Yeah. Chances are you're not going to put a very similar game within that kind of time frame.
Can I just put in there, hasn't Anthem just been delayed? Like, it wasn't supposed to come out then, right?
No, it wasn't supposed to come out then.
If they already had a plan in place, then...
Yeah, they might not budge.
That's not going to be a reason for them not to... Do you know what I mean?
No, it's one reason. I mean, I've seen a lot of things this week where they're like, oh, we're probably going to get Division 2 in September. And I'm like, I can't see it. And like it or not, Destiny is still a big force in the gaming community. People are willing to forgive and forget, and they will move on and they will pick up the next hype game. We've seen it happen before. I've done it myself, It will lead people to pick up games just because other people buy them or YouTubers buy them, things like that. And, we know already that Destiny is going to have an expansion come September. So chances are it's not going to want to drop against that either. So if it does drop, it's likely, I would have said, to be about November, December time. But at the minute, I can't see it, which is why I'm honestly thinking we're going to get a year 3 and maybe towards the end of 2019, we might see a Division 2
trailer.
What do you reckon? Well, yeah.
I also think if it was coming out, like if you think back to when the third division was announced, like it was a good 18 months before the game actually came out. They announced it, right?
No, it was announced in 2013, 2014.
I thought it was like announced really early, right? I thought it was.
It was announced really early. It was about... I'm pretty sure it was like supposed to come out 2-3. I think it was supposed to even come out on PS3, but they couldn't do it, so they held off until next gen. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that by the time it had come out, it was about 3 years.
Oh wow! Okay, so a long time.
I mean, yeah, we've looked at life cycles of games, especially in the Ubisoft development timeline, and games tend to be. I mean, Watch Dogs was about 3 years between 1 and 2. The Crew 2, which has just been pushed back, is going to be, I think, about 4 years at this time. That's quite a huge gap. Obviously, they took a little bit of extra time on Assassin's Creed Origins. For anybody who's picked that up, people are really enjoying that, and due to the longer development time, and I just don't think we've had enough time for them to make a sequel. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not.
I agree.
It just feels way too soon.
Yeah.
Obviously, like for a lot of people, the Division 1 feels like a beta, or they're still testing stuff. I mean, something that the CEO of Ubisoft actually said recently was something along the lines of, we're basically testing a load of stuff in Division 1 that might actually be worthwhile adding into a sequel further down the road. And this was, within the last week? And, that their first obligation is to make the first Division awesome, and that's not something that they had on launch day. And obviously with 1.8, they're a lot better and a lot closer to what they wanted in the first place. So I think what they've definitely found, Ubisoft as a culture, is giving developers more time yields better results, which is obviously shown by Assassin's Creed Origins, if you've picked that up. I haven't had a chance to pick that up.
Assassin's Creed has been massively positively received, doesn't it? And they had loads of time to sort of, not reboot, that's the wrong word, but they basically built it from the ground up again, didn't they?
Well, yeah, it basically turned into a Call of Duty franchise where they'd have 1 or 2 developers working on a single game every year, and it got to the point where the engagement of that community was just dropping off. But something that they've definitely seen since 2016, obviously since the Division came out, you've got Rainbow Six Siege, you've got Ghost Recon Wildlands that released last year as well, and you've got the Division. Now, Ubisoft are treating all these games as live games now, and the same is going to be happening with Assassin's Creed, because they've literally just done like an earnings call, and they've gone, we're not releasing another Assassin's Creed game this year, we're just going to add DLC and improve the game, which is awesome. Like, and that's like solely single player gameplay. We've seen it with Ghost Recon Wildlands. It kind of died to start with, but the multiplayer that was added apparently is really good and is pulling a lot of people in. Same with the Division and 1.8. And all of this kind of adds up to, like, I think it was announced something along the lines of there's approximately 60 million people playing Tom Clancy titles at this minute in time, which is a lot of people. Thank you for your input.
No, but I was about to say that there was that article that you sent me at work the other day about how they're changing the way they support their games. Like, it's going to be more
ongoing,
more of like a subscription based rather than you buy a game, you complete it, done, move on to the next one. Like,
one-hit wonders.
You're going to stay in the game, and like they're trying to make all their franchises like that, like the Division, like, because the Division was used an example quite a lot in the article, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were seeing, trying to think, like a 40% increase on revenue on games that are live over games that they just drop out there. You get like the full, all the sales, which like on the Division was like 330 million on launch, but obviously they've received maybe like 40% over like the last year or 2 years, like back on investment. Whereas before they would have only seen 13% of, the original, sales, which is a hell of an increase, which has shown that people want more time with these games, which is a reason that basically we can see Division having a year 3, which I'm going to be honest, I think is kind of confirmed already. I don't want to jump the gun, and I don't want to get people's hopes up. That's like something I don't want to do. I don't want it to be a state of like what happened last year where everyone's so freaking hyped up for what's next, and then something's definitely coming, guys, but nothing is really announced. I think they'll definitely have a plan this year. I'm hoping. That is my if anyone from Massive is listening, please tell me you have a plan. It's gonna blow people away. I'd like to see that.
Yeah,
But if not, temper expectations. That's all I would say.
The first year of the Division where they had that like DLC, like what's it, like a roadmap. Basically, you had a rough date of what all the DLCs was coming out. Something like that would be good. I think that would please a lot of people because you know when it's coming. And yeah,
I think if you were going to do that, would you make the original Division free?
oh, we've already had that discussion, dude. Let's not go back there.
No,
again.
no, not the DLC. The original game, not the DLC. Would you make the base game free if you add an expansion?
No. Why would you do that? No company's going to do that. It's just silly.
That's a step too far, dude.
True.
Doesn't make financial sense.
I think we're all in agreement that the DLCs need to be free, especially if there's going to be a year 3. Make the DLCs free, but the base game, no. That's a step too far.
Well, I don't know. It looks like the season pass is really selling it, and that's what might actually be, bringing people back, causing people to play more. But I just thought if a lot of people are willing to buy into more content if the base game is free, but then it's just as much to throw away if they don't like it. So yeah, I can see where you guys are coming from.
There is currently a sale on the Ubisoft store just as well. A lot of stuff's cheap, including the Division and the season pass. I noticed today because it's Chinese New Year.
Yeah. So Ubisoft apparently have actually stated though there's 4 AAA games releasing between April 2018 and March 2019. Now I know we just spoke about this, but 2 of which we know: The Crew 2 and Skull and Bones. Any thoughts to what the next 2 could be? And apparently, they're not counting Rabbids Trials, Rayman, or Just Dance.
I was just about to say Just Dance.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You mean that's not coming out this year, or that's just not AAA?
I could not confirm or deny that either way.
I hope it's coming out this year.
And apparently, let's be honest, when Avatar finally gets released in the cinemas, not the game, that is when we will see the game.
And it's another Watch Dogs game.
Trying to think, when was it released? Last
year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about a 2-year turnaround. It could be. And this is what's leading most people to think it's like Watch Dogs 3 or Division 2. Don't know.
What was the sequel that was at E3 last year that nobody thought was getting a sequel because it's obviously been ages since the original game?
Beyond Good. Yeah.
Right. Surely that's one of them. If they previewed it at E3 last year, that's got to be coming this year, surely.
Well, it depends how far along they are actually making the game, I guess. It didn't look... I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've seen to do with that game has been like engine building and tools and the worlds. It's not really been any proper gameplay. I know we saw like a little trailer on that, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be another South Park game, but the last one's only just come out, and I'm pretty sure there was a huge gap between that. We've got Far Cry coming out this year. Ghost Recon's going to be supported at least for another year, I reckon. Congratulations to For Honor as well, because of that. Apparently, it's just been renewed for another year of content.
What?
Nice.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's right. They announced that the other day. I know they're just hitting a new season. Apparently not.
Dude.
They're doing really well.
I think they've put a lot of work in on that game, actually, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've got dedicated servers now, so congratulations. But yeah, they want to sell 23 million units. So whatever it is, it's got to be enough to sell. Now, we could be completely wrong, and we could potentially get a year 3 and get a Division 2, as you said, Luke, and they don't give a shit what's in their way. The Division is their baby, and they're going to put it out anyway. And I'm not saying it doesn't have the balls to do that. I just think you'd have to be careful. That's all.
Yeah, but
because of what happened last time.
They made a lot of money, right? With the initial sales. So it's possible. That's sort of like a big corporation shitty thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Shove a sequel out just to make some money.
I don't think that's what they're doing, though. I think we'll see a lot of things. Like, I've seen a lot of complaints this week. I mean, what would be your main reason for a sequel? All of you, like both of you, should I say? What would you be, like, the issues? Come on. What would be your main reason for having a sequel?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, most people are happy with the game at the minute, but there's underlying problems and stuff like that that's holding the game back, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like lag and bugs and glitches that have been going on for a long time. That
So you mean what we would like to see fixed in a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, we all know that at the end of the day, the netcode, well, we're saying we know, but, you know, we're taking from other people's information and perspective that, you know, the netcode isn't in the best state. And we know that anti-cheat was implemented after the launch of the game, which caused a lot of stuff to be broke as hell. And obviously they've got employment for Snowdrop Tools engineer, which means they're trying to work it out, fix it. You know, they've done a pretty good job in 1.8 up to 1.8, should I say, of fixing a lot of the bugs without actually having a sequel. So that is one thing that I would like to see from a sequel. A lot of the issues and bugs and lag and desync that comes from the netcode itself, have that fixed. But that's really the only reason for a sequel, isn't it? Can you really, like, deny that would be the only reason? Other than, like, we could get everything else story-wise and all that from an expansion, couldn't we?
Well, you could, but people want the new shiny thing, don't they? So they could, like, for year 2, they said there was no new story and no new map expansion, and then dropped us that West Side Pier map expansion. So they lied to us. But with a sequel, you would get a new story, a new 1 to 30, or as we said last week, a new 1 to 40, or a new 1 to 4 million, or whatever. So it could be bigger, better, and shinier, couldn't it? So even if they don't necessarily fix all the netcode issues, and you don't get more quote-unquote dedicated servers for the Dark Zone, etc., better matchmaking and all that sort of stuff, if you just give people the new shiny, they'll be happy to start with. And without bashing it too much, the problem is if you make it the new shiny, just don't do what Destiny did and make it the new shiny that is empty once you take the wrapper off.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. The thing is, like, there's this report saying that they've got 4 AAA games released in the next financial year. Now, there was also, what isn't being reported and talked about, another game that actually got pushed to 2020. I don't know if, I think we actually talked about it here as well. That, to me, sounds like The Division. And I think that is a reaction to just the gaming development world in the last 6 to 8 months of seeing games like Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2 just go down these paths of, like, just making really bad decisions on launch. You know, and developers look at all these things that are going on in the world of gaming and obviously development and how the community reacts to it. And I don't think they would make the same mistake. But I will say, I don't think in a sequel we would get as much content as we have now.
No.
I think what we might have, though, is things like HVTs, named bosses, probably some similar stuff to West Side Pier would be there at launch. But I just, you know, anyone thinking you would have everything that we have right now in The Division, it takes too long. We've took two years to get here whilst the game's been live. Think how long they were building it before it was even launched, you know.
Rob, how close to Vanilla Division 1 was Vanilla Division 2? Destiny 2?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. That's for well, not just for financial reasons, but that's one of the reasons. Like, they're not going to give you all this content when you buy the base game, when they can eke it out and make some money along the way. You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree, but I think what I hope Ubisoft will do is use Bungie and Destiny as an example of potentially what not to do. And I'm not saying they will give you the size of the Division as is now at the end of year 2 as the base game for Division 2. But I think they will find that middle ground, like Mike says, so you get the HVTs which weren't in Division Vanilla. You might get a PvP mode that isn't the Dark Zone, that obviously wasn't in Division Vanilla. You're certainly not going to get a massive DLC like Survival or Underground. So I'm talking maybe like a Skirmish or a Last Stand, just to keep the PvPers a bit more happy, as well as obviously giving the PvEers a bit more. So like Light Zone bosses will almost certainly be in Division 2 from go.
I mean, just before you go any further, like, I'm not saying that the content that we have got hasn't been there since day one. Like, a lot of it was ready to go from day one. It wasn't launched. HVTs, for example. HVTs were added in Conflict, off the top of my head. Something like, they were added in one of the early DLCs, if I remember right. But that was when everybody was getting to Endgame. And I think whatever happens, I think they will have a clearer indication of what is next for the game, opposed to how it was when the game actually launched and everybody kind of got to Endgame and there was Falcon Lost and there was not that much. Luke, you literally just said it. Having a mode like Skirmish from day one would be fucking awesome. Having that to start with really needs to be in the game, I think, if they have a sequel.
And go on, Rob.
I'm just going to say, I wouldn't care if the base game was bare bones, as long as the content that was supporting the game came thick and fast.
Yeah.
Like by the time you've rinsed through some content, like every hardcore player does, you're ready for the next, and you like a couple of weeks, and then another bit of content comes out. You can rinse through. Like, it just needs to come faster. That's what I think Bungie's done wrong in their model. That's what I was just about to say,
because you could have like a little bit of an expansion on what Division 1 was, so you would potentially get the Light Zone and the HVTs, and then maybe a week after that would launch Incursion 1, and then like a week after that you would get help me out, something else that we got, maybe even more HVTs, or like bring the WVTs in rather than just the dailies, and maybe drop a couple of gear sets a lot earlier than what they dropped for Division 1 and stuff, because you wouldn't necessarily need gear sets straight away either, would you? So they could take the time to make those better. I'm not saying you wouldn't get them straight away, but they weren't in Division 1, and you certainly wouldn't need them on the 1 to 30, would you? So that would be something to progress Endgame further and further and further, and just roll out 2 gear sets every couple of weeks or whatever. Just give something. You're almost creating like a global event without the modifier. You're just giving a couple of gear sets for all the hardcore players to go and farm after. They've got them, right? Here's a couple more gear sets, go and get those. Here's a couple more gear sets, go and get those. Here's another incursion, go and smash that.
If we get gear sets, I'm going to be surprised if we do get gear sets in the next one. As many as we do anyway. We'll see.
I think the smart move is to reduce how many we've got. You certainly will get them, though. I think it's just endgame character building, isn't it?
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think that's what maybe they might be trying to do. You know, we can see all the job listings. You know, maybe it's not so much for the Division 2. Maybe they're already working on that. Maybe they're just working on continually supporting the game for the near future, you know, better than what has been done. I'm not saying what has been done is bad, but from the announcement of year 2, which was March, to when we actually got the content, which was December, and I know we got global events in about August, so we actually had a bit of content along the way. It would have been nice to have a lot of that, like July. You know, have 1.8 July, have 1.9 December. Every 6 months, doesn't even need to be like a huge content drop, but have like an update with enough content that will keep people happier. And people would pay, I'd pay for a yearly pass for that. or as Rob was saying, push it towards the subscription model. Whether you like that or not, I don't know.
Oh,
but
yeah. Do that.
I know you would. We'd all. That's the thing. We would all pay that. There's so many people on Reddit that would say that. But as Terry Spear would say, like, we want to give it to you guys for free, which is awesome. But the community want to give money back to get more content. So it's like this weird situation, isn't it?
The thing with what Terry Spear says, though, he says, and this is not a criticism by any stretch of the imagination, it's just how business works. He says, we want to give you this for free. Like, for argument's sake, the example that was floating around the loot and shoot chat this week was Central Park. When Terry was talking about Central Park on a stream with Amper Camper a little while back, he said, we want to give it you for free. And his next comment was, so go and buy a sweater. So effectively, it's not free. So the subscription model would be there. You just don't necessarily get those little vanity items for your money. You just get what you want.
Yeah. But that's not us having a go at.
No, absolutely not.
No, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying, like, I'm just reiterating something we've said before on the podcast, which is, like, we've always said, we understand the need for microtransactions in the game, and the loot boxes are in the game. Are they good or they're bad? That's up to you to decide. If you're not interested in buying them, don't buy them. And then it starts getting to all this politics about gambling. I completely understand that, but from our point of view, we're people that can walk away with that from these things being an issue. But that's us, and I can understand to some people that is an issue, and I would solely support that as well. But to us and a lot of the gaming community, people would pay like 15 quid or more, like, for a season pass, even if it was for 2 years.
Cast your mind back. Go on, sorry. Keep going.
I was going to say, and still pay for microtransactions on top.
Cast your mind back when the anniversary stream that wasn't the year 2 announcement stream was so widely lambasted across the community as being, oh, rip the Division, game's dead, no content, rip. We said then, give us a year 2 DLC season pass, we'd all empty our wallet straight away. I guarantee you two will agree with me now. Give me a year 3 DLC season pass, empty my wallet right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if we get as much content as we got in like 1.8, yeah, I'll put my money down.
There you go.
If it was confirmed, yeah, I put my money down. I expect a lot of people out there would as well. Is it awesome that they put that out there for free? Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, now you've got the player base back. The problem is they want more. And it's not just us. You can go on Reddit. What's next? I've seen so many posts saying, "What's next for the Division?" But then it could go the other way. We could get Division 2 next year, right? Which, I'm going to be honest, guys. If we see, problem is, it's like we've got the year 3 announcement first. Yeah, I say that as if it's already confirmed, but we've got year 2 celebration first, not the announcement. And then come June, we've got E3 where there's a potential that the Division 2 may get announced. Now, that thing could be next year. It could be 2 years away. We don't know. Problem is, if we don't see... it's like this weird conundrum where if you don't see one announcement, you're going to see the other, if that makes sense. Can anyone put that into better words than I'm actually saying? Right?
No, I know what you mean. If they don't announce year 3 before
we've got Division 2.
Before E3, you can almost certainly guarantee that Division 2 will be previewed or premiered, whatever you want to call it, at E3. I don't think it will be that way around, personally. Even if they turn around and say, yeah, you're getting a year 3, but it's just going to be this little bit and this little bit. Because, it stands to reason that year 3 will be smaller than year 2.
Yeah, that's been a huge rumor that's been going around everybody. I mean, even Marco Styles said it on his video. But I mean, we've seen over the past couple of weeks since Christmas, where's the Red Storm guys been? They've been in Malmo in Sweden. They're at Massive. I know it's like bigging up expectations, but like these are the guys that have held the torch for the game since 1.6. They've done an awesome job. Massive are working on something else. We don't know what that is. Chances are Red Storm, who they love working on the Division, they're going to be working hopefully on a year 3, and hopefully give us more content. We hope.
Yeah, you could say a lot of things about those meetings in Sweden, couldn't you? They're obviously working on something. That goes without saying, really.
Or it could just be balancing what we have now, or quality of life updates.
It depends.
Let's just say they're making decisions.
Yeah, they're making decisions, and it.
They're figuring out how many bird books they've got.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Division is Massive's crown jewel at the moment, isn't it? It's the best-selling game they've ever had.
Ubisoft.
Yeah,
it's Ubisoft's crown jewel, and
it almost certainly would be when a sequel comes out. The same, it would probably smash the records that the Division set. So if Red Storm or Ubisoft Reflections or whoever have taken the reins of the Division, whatever they are now working on for Division 2, whether that be the other studios that are working on it on Massive's behalf or Ubisoft's behalf, whatever you want to call it, they would almost certainly have to run it by them for approval first, or to show what their progress is. So these meetings could just be that. They're not going to give the reins completely to this. No way in a million years.
No. Before we do go, very briefly, I know we'd all love an awesome year 3 with as much content as we had over year 2, but like being honest, what are our expectations for year 3? We already know we're going to get like minor quality of life updates and patches for like balancing the game, but I mean, what do you realistically see us having in year 3? Robert.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to you on that one.
What you mean? What qual updates are we going to have?
Or anything. What can you? If they announce year 3 in about 4 weeks' time, 5 weeks' time, or maybe even less, what do you think we'll actually get?
I don't know. It's a good question, Mike. But I'd like to see another map expansion, but whether that would happen or not is, I don't know. They definitely need to raise a normalization in PvP on them and maybe add some maps. I don't know. Maybe, balance it so the meta changes as well, because it's just striker everywhere at the moment.
Hey, you forgot about Nomad. Nomad rolls, right?
Yeah.
I can see Luke's eye twitching. I'm messing, dude. But yeah, like last time maps, skirmish maps, that'd be awesome. I think me and Rob are playing on PC this week. I know Luke's been playing on PC as well, and we were up in DZ North, weren't we, Rob?
Yeah.
And we were. I was like, some of the areas that are up in DZ North would be awesome as PvP maps. I'd like them because there's a lot of cover there, and you could actually use it as a cover-based PvP mode. I know it's not that mode; it's the Division face tank the game, but there you go. And yeah, I honestly would like to see more modes added to the Dark Zone. I don't know what we could add. I'm sure as a community we could all brainstorm something that we could add that would, like, not even div tech, but just, I know it's meant to be like a no man's land, it's do whatever you want in there, but I think there needs to be, like, I don't know, missions or something in there that forces more player interaction, gives you, I know div tech is definitely the draw at the minute, but gives you more reason to go in there apart from just going rogue on each other.
Maybe, yes, more DZ, like, things.
give me things for the stuff.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like contamination events and stuff like that. More of that.
Give us
More. We
4v4.
want more. God damn it.
Just give us four squads of 4 facing off in the dark zone. But you can't kill it. I'm not even going to get that word. Anyway, Luke, any final words before we leave?
I would love to see the ability to make custom matches in Skirmish for Year 3. I think that would be fucking awesome.
Okay, yes, I completely forgot about that.
You're welcome. That's it. That's all I'd want. I think stuff like survival should maybe get some love, but I really don't know how they do that.
Just up the rewards.
Can I just mention one quality of life thing? Can we please have a better gear mod system? I absolutely hate the gear mod system we have at the minute, especially when I have my stash full, on my backpack full, should I say. I've got all my freaking mods stored on my chest and backpack, just so I've got enough space. Thank you.
Make more characters, you lazy shit.
That's our discussion for today.
That was a long one.
Thank you very much.
I'm tired.
Obviously, that's just our thoughts, but if you want to leave us a comment and let us know what you think, that would be great. Thank you very much. Next up, questions. Luke.
Great. More talking. Boris, or Spitbeats as he likes to be known from our Discord, wants to know what is our least used and least optimized build and why? Mike.
Sentry? I don't even think I have a full sentry. Does that make you cry, Luke?
No, because that means when we're playing together, I can use it.
True. Robert?
The
man with everything wouldn't have this situation, would you?
I don't have everything. Hunter's Faith is on PC. I have a build, but I don't use it very often. I use it for one incursion, and that's it. There you go.
Fucking Lost we did the other day.
Yeah.
Mine would be any 3 of the 4 from the last GE that's not Alpha Bridge, because I've built my Alpha Bridge, but I didn't build the other 3. I've got all the pieces. I didn't build them. I don't know if I will, because I've now started playing quite a lot on PC, and which I need all the things because I'm still 29 and a half. So, yeah, rip me.
Are you saying you didn't optimize your Firecrest build? I told you, dude, how to build
no.
that. My build is freaking amazing. Honestly.
Nobody got time for no Firecrest. Fuck off.
If you want to burn shit.
No, I don't want to set myself on fire.
Definitely don't use Firecrest. Next up, Grilled Cheese asks, you've mentioned dislike for one-shot sticky bombs. How do you feel that compares to one-shot sniper builds? And if you don't consider them the same thing, is it because the potential multi-target kills versus single kills on a target?
No, it's not even that. I dislike one-shot sticky and seeker mine builds compared to one-shot sniper builds, because a one-shot sniper build actually requires a little bit of skill, whereas throwing your seekers on the ground and letting them do all the work for you was a pussy move at best. So
yeah, I think it's something we've discussed on here before, and I'm sure we'll discuss again. Gunplay versus skills. To me, gunplay should overrule skills at all times, especially in PvP. Robert?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Thank you. LSL1 Uzi asks, question 1. Games resources, production requirements notwithstanding, if you could detect, because this is an echo.
I'm pretty sure it says dictate.
Yes, it does. Just like you just did to me. A new end game activity, what would it be? You get to design a new mission, incursion, horde mode, PvP activity, and we'll make it happen. The only limit is 4-man teams up to 8-man co-op like Last Stand, using existing game elements. Go nuts. What would you add?
A raid. Done. Right, next question.
I would add something similar to survival to the Dark Zone, which I've talked about before.
The mechanics from survival, you mean?
No, as in something like the antivirals that everybody has to go off and find in each corner of the map. Like, you've got 4 different squads, they go off to each corner of the map. They get that, and then they've got like one extraction, and then you all have to fight to the death for it. Something like that in a very brief rundown.
Okay.
I don't know. Or even like just make it its own game mode. There you go, done. Next up, what is your favorite 6-piece build, and why is it Reclaimer? Lol, but seriously, I love like Reclaimer. I've never felt stronger in a game than when supporting the team with huge heals and unstoppable rezzing power. Unless you're Mercy and you're playing Overwatch. Hey, rip. What are your thoughts on Reclaimer and how it affects the end game? Does a set like this take away from the PvE experience, or under the right conditions with the right healer, we usually walk through anything except resistance?
That was several questions. That wasn't question 2. That was like question 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. Go.
Yes, Reclaimer is good.
Is it overpowered?
No.
Don't nerf it. Okay.
And how it affects the end game.
I just so expected Rob to be, yes, Reclaimer is good, and then just stop.
I'm
trying to answer all the questions. Hang on. Does it? No, it doesn't, because most of the end game you need a healer. So it's ideal.
Well, if you run with Rob anyway, you need a healer.
Yeah, I definitely need a healer. Although I have a full set of Reclaimer on PC, so
yeah, you're never going to use it. Let's be honest.
I probably should just delete that.
You would be the best healer ever. Where's my heals? Too late, dude. I'm already killing the boss. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm dead. Too bad, bro.
Set like this take away from the PV? No, it doesn't. Although it probably makes a lot of stuff easy. So maybe, I don't know. Same goes for like D3. That makes everything piece of piss. Easy mode. Under the right conditions with the right healer. Yeah, that's not a question. That's just a statement. All right, done. Next question.
You're happy with that statement and questions, yeah?
Yeah.
Luke, are you happy with Reclaimer?
Don't know, don't use it.
Are you happy to have somebody in your team run Reclaimer?
In the Dark Zone, yeah, it's pretty nice. Just give me all the heals because I'm face tanking everything. Yeah.
Cool. And last question comes from Grill Cheese, and he asks, do you even listen to the podcasts?
No, I don't.
Rob doesn't. I do when I get a chance. But I want to ask the question, does anybody listen to podcasts out of you two?
I used to.
Or the three of us, I guess.
I used to listen to a lot of them.
I only listen to Bombshell Jackets. Got to keep up with the competition, right?
True. But yeah, we need to get the competition on. I've been saying that for a while now. Yeah, I listen to a few podcasts still. Rob, you still listen to the Nerdist?
I because of where we work, I can't. I work in like a highly sensitive area, and I'm not allowed to wear headphones.
Okay,
so
you can definitely watch Marco's style videos at work, right?
Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. But I can't. I can't have like my mobile phone in the building. Well, I do, but don't tell anyone. So I'm not supposed to have like, you're not allowed MP3 players or anything like that. So I'm not allowed to do it, which sucks.
So can you just say thank you to Marco for brightening your day up?
Yeah, that's one thing I can do. I'm allowed to put my headphones into my computer and listen to YouTube videos.
Watch all the porn.
Yes, because there's porn on YouTube, apparently.
Tonight you have to send us the link. Thanks, Rob.
Okay. I'll link it in the description.
Robert?
Yeah?
Where can the listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Any questions or feedback to us, send it to our email address, sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com, or via the socials. Also, we post full episodes and other content from us every week over on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SITREP Radio. Just comment and stuff. Yeah, that's about right. I'm reading that word for word. We want to hear your thoughts, so be sure to leave a comment. Luke?
Oh my God. As always, you can find this podcast over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Podbean, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. Thank you! Apparently, you can find the links to all of these platforms and more over at mashthosebuttons.com. And whilst you're there, please rate, review, and subscribe. Plenty of comments this week from Matt Shields, aka The Hunter. So thanks for those, Matt. We'll sprinkle those into the next couple of shows, I believe. Cheers.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, one comment around about 10 minutes into last week's podcast was too much information, guys. I kind of want to go back and listen to what we said. And then there's like another bit about 27 minutes in, like the dude commented all the way through, and he was basically saying like Terry is playing with my emotions. It's just like funny. If anybody's like listening to the podcast over on Soundcloud, because apparently that's how we say it, we're Canadian. You should definitely leave comments whilst you're listening to it, because it's quite funny for us to read them back as you've like progressed through it. So it's interesting.
It's like that he's answering us live. Like,
yeah,
I can guess, because it says one of them's blasphemy in capital letters. I can guess that what that was at when I said we should have hunters as pets.
The comment above directly answers that as well. Have you seen that one?
Do you want to read that out, Rob? No. Okay. If you do head over to mashthosebuttons.com, then make sure to check out some of the other awesome podcasts that are a part of the Mash Those Buttons family. As always, thank you to the Division Elites. Go check out our friends over at the Loot and Shoot on Twitter. Thank you, as always, for listening to this random ass show.
Podcast. Jibber jabber.
Podcast. Jibber. Fool. People. Things. Enjoy your week, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.